you.
Yes, please.
Welcome. Thank you for coming. Really nice to introduce Kirsty, who's come to talk to you today about sleep insomnia and sleep problems generally, because that can make a huge difference to how you feel, what your energy levels are like. If you're struggling to lose weight, not sleeping very well can have a really big impact on your metabolism. So Kirsty is a naturopath. I'm sure she's going to tell you all a little bit more about her background and where she's come from. I'm sure you have questions, so please ask questions and enjoy.
Okay. Hi everybody. So I'm Kirsty and I'm a naturopath. Now I'm sure most of you don't know what a naturopath is. It's not very well known in England at the moment, but we're a lot more common in America and Australia. So essentially we are health practitioners who use natural therapies, and we can use any natural therapies that are out there, but essentially we're trained in herbal medicine, nutrition. I'm also trained in homeopathy. I'm a kinesiologist, and I also do this wonderful modality called body talk, which is an energy healing technique, which just blows me away, the results I get from that as well. I also do quite a bit of allergy work as well. I worked in an allergy clinic in Sydney for about 10 years. Not in the allergy clinic for 10 years, but I was in Sydney for 10 years, and I was a lecturer over there as well in naturopathy, and still do a bit of online lecturing here to Australia. We tend to work on all levels. So we work on the mental, emotional and physical level, and I'm sure you realise yourselves that your health is not just physical. There are a lot of aspects that go into having good health, so we try and balance out all those aspects to achieve good health. So the topic today is sleep, because sleep is one of the cornerstones to good health, and one of the first things I do when I see clients is to make sure, if they're not sleeping properly, to make sure they do sleep properly, because that's when our bodies heal and repair and restore, which is what we need to maintain good health. So I'm sure you all know how you feel after a bad night's sleep. You just feel rough and rotten and good for nothing the next day, basically. So you can imagine that if people that have this as an ongoing problem, how that can affect their health. So if people do have an ongoing sleep deficiency, it increases their risk of heart disease, kidney disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, stroke, stomach ulcers, constipation, mood disorders, depression, etc., etc., etc. The list could be endless as to what an ongoing sleep deficiency can lead to. It can also dramatically weaken your immune system. So your immune system is your first line of defence against any invading pathogens like viruses, bacteria. So you're more likely to pick up that cold or flu if you're not sleeping well. It can accelerate tumour growth, so they can grow 2 to 3 times faster in laboratory animals. So it can have an effect on every level. It can, lack of sleep can create a pre-diabetic state, so it affects your blood sugar levels as well. So people that are prone to type 2 diabetes, if they're not sleeping properly as well, it can contribute towards that too. It just helps to maintain good sleep, helps to maintain a healthy balance of hormones, and it can affect your appetite as well. So if you have a bad night's sleep and you think about how the next day you feel hungry, you might reach for more sugar, you might reach for more caffeine.
I have 3 chicken salads.
And here?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I'm having a chicken salad, so you can just put that down there.
Yeah.
I almost had one. Try and see that. So it also increases the risk of obesity, and this study is quite interesting in how teenagers that with each hour of sleep loss, the odds of their becoming obese went up. So there's a huge correlation between lack of sleep and increased obesity in teenagers as well.
There you are.
So goat's cheese.
That does look nice. Did you mind that?
Do go ahead. So it can seriously impair your memory. So even a single night of poor sleep So meaning only 4 to 6 hours can really impact how you think the next day. So performance on any mental or physical tasks can be really impacted by a poor night's sleep. Sleep deprivation prematurely ages us, and none of us want that, do we? Because it basically interferes with our growth hormone production, and that can help to keep us young too. So good sleep keeps you young. And one study even showed that chronic insomnia can create 3 times greater risk of dying from any cause whatsoever. So it impacts every aspect of life. So without wanting to put the woolies up you, I just want you to really understand how important it is to get a good night's sleep and to consistently get a good night's sleep as well. And some fascinating new research shows that when we're asleep, what actually happens is that our CSF, or our cerebrospinal fluid, actually goes into our brain cells, clears out all the toxins from our brain cells, and removes any unwanted products from there, and particularly things like proteins that can lead to things like Alzheimer's as well. So it's actually taking out the trash at night from our brain cells too. So and our brain cells can actually shrink by about 60% while we're sleeping in order for this to happen. So this process is increased at night while we're sleeping. So if we're not sleeping well, we're not getting that detoxification of the brain as well. And that's quite recent research as well. So how much sleep do we need? Well, we should be aiming for 7.5 to 9 hours a night. Does anybody think they need less than that? Does anybody get less than that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, all right. So you want to be aiming for 7.5 to 9 hours. As you do get older, you do need less.
Oh.
So people as they age, they do tend to find they need less, and the elderly might find that they just nap more in the day and they can make up the time that way because their quality of sleep at night is not so great. Younger people and teenagers, of course, need more. They need lots. They're not lying in bed being lazy in the morning. They do genuinely need that sleep. Okay, so if you are having any issues with sleep, and if, I should say, if my clients come to me and say they are having issues with sleep, I will put them on quite a strict 4-week month protocol, or it's called sleep hygiene, just to really create some good, healthy sleep habits, basically. And the first thing I do is, as a naturopath, because we check every aspect, we're holistic, we work on every aspect of being, I'll be checking things like diet and environment to make sure that they're conducive to sleep first. So unhelpful food and drink would need to be eliminated, such as caffeinated drinks and sugar. So all tea, cakes, chocolate, alcohol, all these kinds of things I would suggest aren't consumed after 3 o'clock at night if there is a sleep problem. If it's not a major sleep problem, you just kind of work out what works for you. So most people sort of 4 or 5 o'clock is a good cut-off time to have the last cup of tea. But if I'm seeing a client who does have a sleep problem, I'll say nothing after 3 p.m. Or ideally, if they can quit the lot for a month, the lot. But I don't like depriving people of their morning tea unless it's essential. And of course, these can be replaced by chamomile teas. There's lots and lots of herbal teas out there that are non-caffeinated. And these, I don't know if any of you guys have seen these kind of sleep teas that are available in supermarkets now. So there's brands like Clipper and Pucker that do these gorgeous sleep teas as well. And they're really lovely and relaxing as well. So they can replace any caffeinated drinks in the evening with them. And a lot of people say that they get up in the night to go to the toilet, and that sort of can wake them up in the middle of the night as well. So you need to make sure that at least 2 hours before you go to bed, you're not having any big drink of water or anything then. So 2 hours prior to bedtime, you have your final drink. You're not actually drinking too much late at night. Similarly, not eating a large meal late at night. Your body doesn't want to be digesting at all late at night. It's the last thing it wants to do. We're not designed to digest food late at night, so let alone big meals. So as small a meal as possible, as early as possible, to take any pressure off the digestion. So making your room sleep friendly. So this.
What's the latest you can eat?
Well, I mean, I would suggest, if possible, to have your main meal around 6 o'clock. Night, if that is possible. You will notice the difference if you have a sleep problem and any kind of stuff going on. It's not always possible because of work and that kind of thing, so it's a case of just eating as early as you can, basically, as feasibly possible. Making your room sleep friendly. Now, we all have mobile phones next to our bed, and this isn't helpful at all. The research coming out on mobile phones and their EMFs or electromagnetic frequencies is really quite worrying, and you don't want that lying next to you at night. You really don't. So you can just get, just replace it with an old-fashioned clock. If you need an alarm clock, use it for an alarm clock, and recharge your phones in another room.
I'll check.
Also, things like fridges can cause electromagnetic frequencies as well. So if that's on the other side of the wall in your flat or wherever you may live, it needs to be at least 2 metres away, because that can interfere with our own electromagnetic fields, and that can disturb sleep quite a lot as well.
And it comes through the floor.
Yeah,
It's underneath.
yeah, and it can create a lot of problems. Okay, so sometimes noise might be an issue, so earplugs, if light's an issue, then you can get blackout things for the curtains, or wear masks. And it's avoiding digital devices.
The avocado just coming for the English salad. Sorry guys, I forgot to put them in. I thought I was missing.
Oh, no, I don't choose this. I'm sure there was something else.
It looks a bit dry, doesn't it?
It's nice, but I did think there should be something else.
Okay, so digital devices at night, a lot of people get on the phone or get on the iPad or get on the computer late at night. They're an absolute no-no. The light tricks the brain into thinking it's daylight, so it doesn't release as much melatonin, and we need melatonin to help us sleep. And melatonin is also an antioxidant, so we need that to help reduce any other potential health risks as well. So I would recommend not using any digital devices after 9 o'clock at night as well. And also avoiding phone calls and texting and emails and all that after 9 at night, because it's too stimulating. It wakes you up too much. So just using the night time to relax in instead of work and communicate. So if sleep is a problem, then it's using relaxation techniques to train the body into understanding that nighttime is for sleeping. So has anybody here tried Yoga Nidra? Does anybody know what Yoga Nidra is? Okay, so this is a wonderful technique. It's a relaxation kind of meditation technique, and what you do is you listen to a guided meditation, somebody speaking, they talk you through the parts of the body, you kind of tense up your hand or tense up your foot, and then you relax it again.
Yes.
So what it does is that it takes you out of your head and into your body, and because what happens with a lot of people who can't sleep, they're in their head a lot. So Yoga Nidra is a really nice way of coming out of the head and getting into the body, and also helps to relax. So I don't know if any of you use apps, but you can get great apps for your phones.
When you're using the phone, when you should be not using them.
Oh well, yeah, no, but but
No,
that's
this is
different.
different.
This would be like in the evening, not when you're actually
Right,
home. Yeah, this would be
right.
during the evening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a bit different if you're using it for that purpose.
Yeah.
Or you can get CDs or YouTube as well. Do some great. There's lots of stuff out there on YouTube as well to use. You can just Google Yoga Nidra YouTube, and you can find some lovely relaxations. Also, any kind of meditation is good too. Holland and Barrett do meditation CDs. Again, there's lots of apps and YouTube stuff and meditations as well, and that really helps to calm the brain down, because what ultimately you want to do is that you want to soothe that nervous system. So has anybody heard of pranayama, which is a breathing technique used in yoga as well? So breathing is great, because breathing exercise. Yeah. I recommend it. And what deep breathing or breathing exercises do is that they activate your parasympathetic nervous system, and that's what we use to rest and digest and to healing when our body is in that state. So that's why deep breathing exercises are so good for us. So again, you can Google pranayama and you'll find lots of stuff there on YouTube to guide you through that too. So I'd recommend doing this every night, these kinds of things. Just play around and find things that suit you and work for you, basically.
Is that on the sheet now?
Yeah, it's all written down here, yeah. All written down. Okay, baths are a great form of relaxing as well. Absolutely wonderful way to relax. I think they're highly underrated actually, baths as a form of relaxation. You can stick some Epsom salts in there for the magnesium to help relax muscles if that's an issue from after your hard workouts with Lisa. That'll help you relax from them. You can get these beautiful oil mixes. This is called, I got this in Australia, I don't know what you can get here, if you can get this here or not, but this is called Eco Dream Drops, but there's beautiful blends out there that are made specifically for relaxation, and you can put them in your bath, you can put them in your burners, put them on your pillow, do anything you like with them really. And they're just lovely and relaxing as well. But also what it's doing is that if you're doing this as a routine, it's training the body that night time is the time to relax and to wind down. And then once your body's learnt that, it'll start to do that automatically once you've taught it to do that. You could try Body Talk, which is a modality that I do, which is fantastic. It's a way of just really shifting any energy blockages that might be going on there and helping deep relaxation and just helping the body to relax deeply, and really helps healing. And herbs can be great as well to reduce stress levels. I use these this brand of herbs here, which are like some of the best quality herbs you can get out there, basically. And fortunately, because I've been in Australia 10 years, I've managed to get hold of them here. I've managed to find a supply here, which I'm delighted. So I make up herbal mixes for my clients if stress is an issue for them, just to help reduce any stress.
And you ingest
issues.
those, so you drink them?
Yeah, you drink them. Liquid herbs aren't so big here, I've noticed. They're getting bigger, but they're not so big here. And I'll make like a tonic, either that size or half the size, and put it in water. And probably take it about 4 times a day or twice a day, depending on what's going on there. So ensuring you've exercised enough in the day as well is important for a good night's sleep. So you can see Lisa about that. If you're not exercising hard enough, that's essential for a good night's sleep. And medications as well. Just be mindful that medications can cause a bit of sleeplessness too. So if there is a sleeplessness issue going on, it could be something to do with any medications that might be taken too. So going to bed at the right time. So in Chinese medicine, they say that between 11 and 1 is gallbladder time. And our Shen, which is like our vital energy, resides in our gallbladder. So to be fully replenished the next day, we need to be asleep by 11 o'clock at the latest. We have to be in bed and asleep by 11 o'clock at the latest. If not, our Shen is not fully rejuvenated. Anyone guilty of that? So ideally going to bed 10 to 10:30, you're sort of like winding down before that as well. Maybe reading a bit in bed before and too. I think what happens in our culture is that we have such busy lives, and especially if we're working as well and got kids and families and all the rest of it, people just love to have those little couple of hours at the end of the night to themselves, and they think they're doing themselves a favour by staying up late and all that kind of thing, but in reality is they'll be doing themselves more of a favour if they went to bed. So it's remembering what your grandmother told you was, an hour before midnight is worth 2 after, which is one of those old wives' tales that's very true. So reading's good before you go to bed, but a non-stimulating theme, so thrillers and mysteries might be too stimulating. I don't know about 50 Shades of Grey, I've never read that. I don't know if that's too stimulating or not. But anything that sort of, you don't want to read any sort of thrillers that get you too excited, basically. So there's lots of herbal supplements out there in Holland and Barrett, supermarkets, they're everywhere, these herbal supplements. So you could try which ones you like or work for you if sleep is a problem. Take them about an hour before you go to bed, and you can take them on retiring as well. I love this thing here. when you've all finished, I'll pass all this stuff around. It's Tisserand's Sweet Dreams. It's an aromatherapy rollerball, and then you just kind of put that on your pulse points there. I like putting it on my feet because you've got, like in reflexology, you've got all those parts of your body that are indicated on your feet, and they're above my feet together like a locust. But it just sort of seems to flow through the body nicely there. So that's a lovely thing to use just to keep on the bedside table as well. You can use that before bed and if you wake up in the night too. And if you have an overactive mind, like some people can't sleep because the mind's going round and round and round and round. It's like, how do you switch off those thoughts? So unless you know some good meditation techniques, which I recommend that you do learn if you don't know any, I do recommend you try and learn some good meditation techniques. Or mantras. Mantras are great because they focus the mind away from what's happening tomorrow or what's happening next week as well. These aren't the sleep ones, but you can get the Bach Rescue Remedies sleep drops. And they don't make you sleepy, but what they do is that they stop the mind going round and round and round. And what I recommend you do with these is that you take 4 drops 4 times a day for 2 weeks if you do have that overactive mind. And that will just help to quieten that overactive mind. And you can then just have them by the side of the bed and just use them as and when necessary. But I do recommend doing them for a longer period of time just to clear any overactive thought processes going on there. But it's the sleep one you want. This isn't the sleep, but it says sleep on it, and it's got a flower remedy in there called white chestnut, and that's the one that slows your thought processes down. Yeah, you can get that from Holland & Barrett. You can probably get it from any chemist these days. Actually, they're pretty good. Okay.
I did like organics in Haiti, I would imagine. They'll probably have a lot of things, I would imagine.
Yeah, I would think so. You can get a lot of this. I mean, you can get this stuff in supermarkets now, which is great. Okay, so if you do wake up in the night and you can't get back to sleep again, and so you've got your little kit of things here that you can try as well, and it's worth getting up. If you really can't put the light on, read a book. If you still can't sleep, get up, make half a cup of herbal tea just to help to relax. If you do have something on your mind that you can't get rid of, you can always keep a notebook by the side of your bed, write it down, deal with it tomorrow. It's done, it's out, And what is it they say? Something like 95% of what we worry about isn't actually true, isn't real. Only 5% of stuff we worry about is actually real. So, it's really just trying to challenge your own thinking and realise what is actually worth worrying about, because in the middle of the night things get really magnified and get blown out of proportion. So it's really trying to ask yourself, is this actually real? Am I worrying for a real reason here, or am I just worrying? And try and train the brain into more helpful thought processes as well. Okay, so again, try body talk or herbs to reduce any stress levels. So other things that you could do is that if you nap, because sometimes what happens is that if you nap you can't sleep later at night, so if you do nap, try and do it before 3 p.m. for no longer than 30 minutes. Apparently people that nap live longer, so napping's not a bad thing.
Siesta, they feel in the
I like a good nap, I'm partial to a good nap, I must say, so, but it's just maybe not too late if it keeps you up at night. Tai Chi has been shown to be effective for sleep disturbance in the elderly. And CBT, there are like deeper underlying issues there, like CBT is cognitive behavioural therapy, which is basically a psychological therapy which can help deal with any deeper psychological issues that might be the reason for the sleep disturbance. And crews do free bereavement counselling if seem to be seeing a lot of clients with grief at the moment, so that's disturbing their sleep. And interestingly, they're often waking up between 3 and 5 a.m. in the morning, and in Chinese medicine that's lung time, and lung time is associated with grief. So Cruise does free bereavement counselling, so grief is an issue as well. And here I'm saying give tapping a try. I love tapping. I'm a happy tapper. Tapping, in particular, body talk was this technique that I do, and it's about tapping the head and the heart to put standing waves and asking the body to change into a healthier way and reconnect its communication pathways. So essentially, what it does is that it balances emotions and helps us feel more relaxed. And there's a lovely technique called cortices that you can have a look on YouTube at, by Dr. John Veltheim, and he's the guy that came up with this technique, body talk. So if you just googled body talk, not body talk, so if you googled cortices, Dr. John Veltheim, you'd come up with that demo. I've got the actual link there, but obviously you can't click on it. And there's also, has anybody heard of EFT, or emotional freedom technique? Yeah,
We had a little session in the studio, probably about a year ago.
You did?
Yeah,
Okay.
where you do the,
And that's another tapping modality. And there's another nice tapping for insomnia there from Julia Schiffman on another YouTube thing there on showing you how to tap for insomnia too. So again, if you just googled tapping for insomnia, Julia Schiffman, you'll find that too. Okay, so if anybody is interested in my services, you get 20% off your first appointment, and that applies to all your friends and family as well. You just need to book before the 20th of May. And I work with all sorts of conditions, digestive conditions, anxiety, skin conditions, all sorts of stuff as well. There's a bunch of testimonials on the back as well, in case you don't believe me. In case you think I'm an imposter. And yeah, any questions?
Is lavender a good thing on your period?
Yeah, lavender's lovely. So it's a case of finding what works for you as well. So if you love lavender, then use lavender. Yeah, and lavender's also, actually might have lavender in here. It's nice to ingest as well. It's used internally. Yeah, so this one's got lavender in it as well. So yeah, can use it in cooking too.
lavender rice.
Yeah, delicious. So yeah, so it's just about, if you want to pass these around maybe and have a smell. See, I love ylang ylang, and that's got ylang ylang in it, and that's a nice relaxing one too, and I just really resonate with that. Pass that one around that way. That's the sweet drink as well.
And the tapping thing, although it's a bit seems a bit weird.
Yeah, it seems a bit woo woo, but it's fantastic.
I have eaten chocolate, but I haven't eaten a chunky Kit Kat since I had my tapping technique. And that was what I took as my guilty pleasure. And every time I look at a chunky Kit Kat in the shop, I look at it and I think, no, I'll buy something else instead. So I need to do every single galaxy. But it's you don't think it's good because you think,
you don't have to.
It seems a bit bonkers, but I've seen miracles.
Yes, you do. You do, and you smell it, and you ask yourself questions out loud, or you say things out loud, and then by the end of it, you actually don't want it.
Yeah. Really? So do you do that in the shop as well? The people think you go in
No, I didn't.
Do you have any comments about snoring at all?
Snoring, oh yeah, it's a tough one. Depends on what is it from being overweight, the person's snoring, or can it be linked to anything like that that's obvious?
I don't mean this sort of, not this sleep apnea, just sort of
but it's snoring itself.
regular snoring.
Yeah.
Of course, when it's me that snores, I'm not doing it, I'm sleeping soundly.
Yeah.
It's not an issue, but it's been a family trait. It's really interesting because when my mum and dad used to come and sleep in the room underneath us, you could hear them.
It could be that if it can't be linked to, if it's not linked to being overweight, which obviously it's not, or drinking every night, which people that drink a lot every night can end up snoring. It could just be an inherited trait.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my sister does it as well. I think she's as bad as I am, if not worse. But if I ever have to share a room with somebody other than my husband, I will always offer them earplugs. You think I'm jesting, but there was one. I went to a music festival with a friend once, and the first 2 nights she refused, and the third she accepted.
Any other questions before I sit down to chicken sandwich?
It's very nice.
Is it?
Where are you actually based?
I'm based in Burgess Hill, Hayward and Forest Road.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't get my avocado, did I?
Yeah. Oh, I don't think that.
That was chicken doesn't.
Oh, doesn't it?
No.
Oh, not to worry. Yeah, so clinic space is in
As well, aren't they?
yeah, fine.
Oh.
Oh, okay.